it's your property / your clients. When they're not your client, you know, the fiduciary obligation is to the broker.
It's also negotiated. There's a lot of aerial photography companies that maintain the rights to that.
And that's true with photographs that agents would take too, so. This is
It's the same.
Okay.
So, any
So we
questions?
could file a claim to use our drone photography and then.
what's a copyright infringement at that
Okay,
point?
I just wanna make sure that's clear, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we take our digital assets very seriously here at Drone Training Pros. So what we, you know, like I said, we are proud of the work that we do from a service standpoint, and one of the elements of our business that we're building out is working with the larger clients that have transitioned from they've embraced the technology, they're using it, they're hiring us to do images, and they want to go ahead. It makes sense now because they're spending so much money with us to do these shoots that to bring it in-house makes sense. That's where we train their pilot. We give them the flight instruction using the equipment and the software. Usually takes around 100 hours to get proficient on a piece of equipment like that. It seemed like 1,000 hours in my house when we first got into the technology, but it was really only 100 because he logged it all. And that's another thing you can ask a pilot, you know, how many flight hours do you have? It's highly recommended that you do. So that's really all I have, unless you have questions. Rob can show you all the equipment and how it works and explain it to you, the different, you know, tiers of equipment and how the camera works and all that good stuff.
Wendy, ballpark, what kind of price does Drone Training Pros charge?
We charge anywhere from $350 to $700. The average fee for a shoot that you would see with that, let's say that builder, that was $395. So he wanted an extra swirl bling, so we had to graphically design that. But that's what you're going to look for with any provider. That's a pretty standard average going rate. If you want just, like I said, the SD card handed to you and the raw footage, and you've got someone that can edit, a videographer, it's much, much less expensive. So you're looking.
How long is the class to get your Part 107?
It's 2 days. That's a great question. It's 2 days. It's ground school, and then that provides you online access to a review portal. Because once you complete that 2 days of training, then you'll go sit before, you know, at a FAA proctor test facility and take the test. So we've realized, I've got a lot of background in training, so does Rob. You'll leave your 2 days of training, and if you don't get right into a facility, there's kind of a fall off. So online review as you're preparing for that, and then you always have access to, you wouldn't want to have access to me, but one of our pilots would go ahead and be able to walk you through anything as you're preparing to take the test. If for some reason you don't pass, there's 100% guarantee on any of the work that we do or any of the training we give. So if you go sit before the test and you don't pass, you're welcome to come back as many times as you need to sit through the workshop.
And how much is the class?
The class is $350, but we're working on building our repertoire here. So buy one, bring one at half off. So if you've got someone that you'd like to, you know, work with you in tandem, which is typically recommended, a spotter and a pilot, we're trying to make that entry point more affordable.
Where's the proctor test at?
The proctor test, there's one at Lake in the Hills Airport.
Oh, that's close enough.
And how
Yeah.
much is it to take the test?
It's $150.
That's what it's based
I think it's I don't know what that is. I think it's right there. It's 170-ish, 160. I don't know what the price is. It's different than private. And we do group trainings, right, with a single rate. So if you've got a big brokerage firm and you want to get a lot of people want to get trained at the same time, we can put a flat rate together. So
Right.
That's what
It's
we're
the
doing for
same
police
training
forces.
time.
If there's any interest in
Is
it.
there an age limit?
You have to be 16, correct, for Part 107?
I'd be interested if there's a group of us that wanted to do it here.
Maybe I'll put something together.
Yeah, Jim could do it.
You know, we can have a flat rate for the 2 days, and then however many people get put into it is fine.
And you can use this room, so it can work there.
Yeah. So we're open, we're nimble, we're open. Our goal is to really build the credibility and the relationship with people. You're not going to always need aerial imagery. You're not, you know, you're going to get tested once. Ours is to really be the go-to gold standard for anybody that's got questions about the technology, the training, the transition into your business model, because it is gonna come a time, there will be a time that a brokerage house or big office will have this
You're right.
person, they will have them,
They will.
trust me, and we want your brokerage office to know, hey, I know these people. They did work, and they're gonna not only continue to do the work till we transition over, but they're gonna give our pilots the training they need to really be well respected.
Which
and
is
do-
why we use photographers that we do now in the MLS, is because our big brokerages did the homework.
Right,
And they've already recommended 3 or 4, and we all went with that.
exactly.
Normally, that's how it goes.
Exactly how it goes.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I've called the photographers from
Yeah, and they're not offering it?
not interested.
They're not, you're right.
They're not interested because,
Yeah.
one, they get afraid of the Part 107, and a
it's a
photographer,
liability thing too.
well, there's a lot of software involved, that a photographer who's used to doing real estate shoots, they're pretty established, they're set in their way, they know their equipment, they know what they're doing, and they're good at it.
Yeah.
So in my mind, selfishly, I'm thinking, oh, they wanna go ahead and get certified and use me and incorporate this. You know, I'm not fixing what's not broken here, and I'm one of the 4.
Right.
I'm the go-to guy.
Yeah.
I gotta get Part 107, I gotta put $20,000 worth of equipment out there, I've got liability, you know.
And it's new, you know, they're not sure a lot of people are gonna use it.
Exactly.
They'll do all that and they're not sure.
But I did talk to 2 last week in the city of Chicago that wanted me, because they have seen since August 29th, they have seen exponentially people calling, do you do aerials, do you do and they don't. So they said, we have to.
Yeah.
So now they're gonna hire someone. So that photographer who built that robust business,
Right.
he's not messing with it.
Right.
He's hiring the kid at $45,000 a year and putting them through training and buying the equipment and boom.
Perfect,
Yeah.
if you think about it, for a business.
Now, you mentioned something that really wasn't mentioned, that you should make sure of, and that is that.
I do that a lot, they're used to it. No, I'm kidding.
Is that
Thank you, Cindy.
You're welcome, I tried.
you wanna make sure that the people who are doing the business with you have insurance, and it's not cheap, all right? It costs me more to insure these than it does a plane, okay? Because it's so new and they don't know what the liability is gonna be. So, I carry $1 million, and it's probably not gonna cause more than $1 million worth of damage, but that's the standard what people want. Number one, I'm not allowed to fly over people, nobody is. They haven't issued any waivers, they said they will one day, but they're probably going to get devices like this with cameras on them that they'll issue the waivers for, so if this falls out of the sky and hits you in the head, it's not gonna hurt you, right? So, the insurance part is a big deal, right? It's a big deal, so you gotta make sure they have insurance. The other big thing is a lot of drones have cameras, right? This is a $65 drone, it's got a camera on it, okay? But the resolution on this is like 780 pixels, which is gonna look like crap by the time you go ahead and put it, you know, it's okay if you're using Facebook maybe and you wanna show somebody, you know, a friend, but cameras are not created equal, and that's where the real expense in the equipment that somebody goes ahead and uses. So as a minimum, 4K capability, not that you're gonna receive it in 4K, but when we take it in 4K and we render it down to HD, it's gonna look better, right? So everything you guys are gonna see in your world is gonna be HD because most people don't have 4K players. Now with that being said, you gotta be able to edit in 4K. And a lot of these people can't do that. Now you require a much more expensive computer. My average file size is in gigabytes, not megabytes, right? So I start with roughly 8 gigs of raw video and roll down to, you know, whatever that is, a 1-minute final cut. And when I render it back down to HD, it's at 200 megs. But I'm starting at this, you know, this massive amounts of information, and that always translates to more expensive computers. And it's not all you got to do is go ahead and go to Best Buy and buy your Phantom 4 and you're in the business, although a lot of people do. The thing that is amazing to me is to, you know, once you get a license, and believe it or not, I just finally got this, so I've never seen one before, because I took the test on the second day that it made it available. I just received this yesterday, so it took about 25, almost a month to get this card. This is a UAS FAA certified pilot's license, right? The guy needs one of these, or he needs a temporary that you ought to be able to ask and see to make sure he's a Part 107 pilot. If he doesn't have this, he can't fly. Now with this, I can have somebody else at the controls, because I'm still the pilot in command, and I could have somebody else fly this that's not a Part 107 because I'm controlling the mission, right? So that's legal to do. So, we'll actually, we can actually take a broker out if he wants to get involved and get his hands dirty and let him fly the machine legally if he wants to go do that, right? That's part of, as we get more into flight training, we do buddy systems, and we start off with these things. If you're really interested in doing this yourself, I recommend that you don't buy anything more than a $150 drone to start with, because that's what's going to crash into the walls first. And you will. I mean, there's just no question about it. And you won't cry if this breaks, but you start crashing these, you cry a little bit. I mean, the camera alone on this camera is $900, okay? On the stuff that we use for our higher end stuff, the cameras are $2,000 up, right? Because they've got better sensors, they capture more information, bigger pixels in terms of the still images that they go ahead and capture, and that's really what makes it a better camera and better quality in terms of what we go ahead and turn out. We use the drones for lots of different uses other than aerial photography. So for instance, we have a camera that will do 7 times zoom on it. So we're doing home inspections for roofs and insurance companies. We can still stay 6 to 8 feet off the roof line, but we can zoom in so you're this far away. So we can actually see the shingles and hail damage and whatever else we're trying to inspect for without having a problem with the craft crashing into the sides of the peaks of the roofs. Same thing goes if we're doing cell tower inspections. They want to be able to read the serial numbers off the back of the cameras that are on the cell towers. Whether you knew it or not, people stick cameras up there that are unauthorized. I mean, antennas up there that are unauthorized.